Happy dragoning, everyone, and welcome to Here Be Dragons. My name's Philip, and I'm the Dragon Master, and surrounding me, here be the dragons. Roar hello, dragons.
Roar hello.
High energy opening. Welcome, everyone, to the channel. So excited to have you all here with us on this lovely Sunday evening here in the month of February. So,
thank you for pronouncing it correctly.
Anytime. But you're not, but I did hear Wednesday is Wednesday. You don't say the D, but you say the R in February.
Wednesday.
I don't, our language is a very strange one. So I want to mention to everybody, including some of our players here, we have some new emotes, including we have free emotes available to anyone while they're on the channel. There is a unique emote among the free emotes. We also made the Horror Surge emote available to everybody. And also now, while you're on the channel, you can use the famous Rocky Jumper emote from our Top Flight Temple Flight game. That's one of the most popular ones. We also have Maisie the doll, who is important to both Blood from a Stone and Top Flight. Also, I'm gonna even reference that Pierce has referenced this. There's an emote that this game is literally too like mature for, because they're not a bunch of just like disgusting little children. We do have a nice roll emote, because Dan needed it. So in our tier 1 emotes, there is a D20 that says nice, and that is for if people roll a certain number. And I do remember that Pierce said aloud, in one of these games where I think with this group, somebody on a team, I said
publicly.
I'm going to. Somebody rolled a D100, and I said, what did you roll? And they said 69, and no one said nice. And after
no one reacted at all.
No one was like, "Yep, a number was rolled.
What?
Cool, a thing happened." And Pierce's response was, "I really like playing with this party."
I said that's the difference between this show and every other group we have.
Any other group is that wasn't just an excuse for shenanigans. And anyway, so that is an emote people can use for any nice situation, but it was mainly made for pervs. Another fun thing we're going to be doing on this channel is I have another adventure calendar. This one,
oh boy,
very appropriately is dragon themed, and I got it in a couple of days into February, and I was sore misguided in what should I do? Should I open more than one box on a day? That seems wrong. Should I start opening boxes on days that don't correspond to the date? That feels wrong. Should I wait until March? Absolutely not. What will I do? And then Dan, the same one who said make an emote so I can say nice when people roll certain numbers, had a wonderful suggestion, which was open one whenever you stream. And thus shall I do so. On day 1, we got this super rad flame-covered D4 with a dragon's face upon it. Very cool. Let's see what door number 2 has to offer. Door number 2 is, right over here. I'm gonna guess, I think it typically goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I think that's the D20 from that set, so I'm gonna guess it's 4, 6, 8. I think this will be a D10 or a D percentile. That's my guess. But maybe they'll mix it up on me. What do we have? Ooh, fun. Ooh, it is. Oh, wow. This is a D10, but look at that symbol. Ooh, it's like fighting against dragons.
Oh, the 3 of Swords.
Oh.
3 of Swords. Very cool. Wow.
Nice.
Nice. Second throw, I thought it was literally the Blair Witch symbol. Seemed ominous.
It doesn't look. It's not a Blair Witch symbol here. Hold on. Let's do this. Let's do this makeup tutorial trick here. It's like 3 swords.
There you go. Yeah.
Hey, excellent. Look, I can do makeup tutorials. The point is contouring. I don't know if that's actually the point. I'm gonna be honest. I'm really without a net here. I just said a word I've heard. I understand what it means, but
I also understand that foundation is not something anyone should ever use.
You need to spray.
Hey, don't say that. I liked foundation. It was expensive, but I thought.
All I ever used was foundation. What has my life been?
It seems to be that the answer is tinted sunscreen. That seems to be much.
I'm saying that explains all the bad reviews. That's where I'm going with that.
That is the idea. Another thing to get into before we start this game, my heavens, which we are starting earlier, so now we get rid of all the nonsense ahead of time and maybe actually start playing by 7:30, which will be a first. I would like to also mention to everyone, we have a Kickstarter. You've probably heard about this a lot if you watch our channel a lot. We have a Kickstarter. It's called Long Lost Noir. It's a bunch of 5e compatible character options, races, classes. You can actually see them in action now on our...
I would like to just make sure it's very clear that it's races and classes and not racist classes.
It is the most... It's even worse than that. This guide is the most racist and classist guide you will ever find. It is character options so that you can play as just the races and classes. Maybe I should say lineages, because that's probably a better term, or species, really. I prefer that in the Star Wars thing.
It's especially with what we've created, it's very much species.
Yeah.
Right? They're like humanoid tangential sometimes.
Yeah, we have species such as the mannequin. They can take their arms off and beat you with them. We have the brickborn, who are bricks that came to life. We have rat folk, gremlins, who can take stuff apart. They're not the movie gremlins. They're the destroyer airplane gremlins.
Well, we don't know yet. I haven't swum in water yet. We don't know.
That is true. And then we also have the smoking ones, who they're kind of like humanoids, but exuding this constant sort of obscuring mist, and they have all sorts of crazy features too. I think we'll be meeting some of those this next week. But we have games showing off these characters on both these character options both on Tuesdays for Gray in the Dark. And that is like a black and white sort of noir game in a post-war world, super, super fun. And we also, in our horror game, we have gone to a noir domain of dread called Heistales. And so far, that one's going well. And Pierce, in that one, you're playing just a very nice gremlin who left some people to die.
I don't know them.
And
I woke up tied to a chair and someone's throat was slit, and I don't know who these other people are.
Seems reasonable. And
seems like a smart choice.
Your gremlin met somebody at the end of that session.
Yeah. Someone
handsome drifter type. That won't be a thing, don't you worry.
That I just made a bargain with.
How many?
At some point he's gonna help me.
How many?
All right, I'm gonna help him.
How many hit points did you have, by the way?
When I met him, 4.
4. Okay, that's fun. Very good. Well,
Tommy guns hurt. In case everyone's wondering.
Yeah, Tommy guns.
Getting shot with a Tommy gun hurts a lot.
Yeah, on account of how many bullets it is. In that case,
should get shot by a Timmy gun instead. Not as painful.
So that goes through my. So yes, please go to our Kickstarter. If you've already backed it or cannot back it, all good. If you know anyone who might like it, please send it their way. We're almost halfway through. We don't quite have half as much money as we need. So we want to keep getting the word out. And if you know anyone who you think would like it, please send it in their direction.
There was some mention earlier on in the chat about your new posters. That is sort of what we're trying to achieve. Yeah. That is the artwork for our classes that we have so far.
I had them printed out because fun or not, they're just really cool. And I commissioned them, so I gotta get them up. But they're so cool. They're so good. You can go to the Kickstarter page and see them in more glory, but having them up large behind me is super fun, and they are a fun thing to keep behind me as we play all these wild games. So yeah,
I love it.
Yeah. Also, now this is slightly less problematic in terms of the copyright without the Alex Ross images behind me. This one was Jeremy from some of our games. He drew that one. That's the very first campaign we were in. That's everybody on the Tuesday game. That's like a drawing of all their characters he made. It's pretty rad. That's the poster from a play I wrote a while back. There's some kid on there. His face is on the internet. Whatever. I don't care. Anyway, enough talk about stuff that's not the Dragon game. Who cares about emotes and Kickstarters and dice calendars? I mean, obviously I do, but let's talk about these dragons. Oh boy, these dragons our dragons, there's always another little deal. Always a nested thing they can get sucked into. Basically, our dragons currently in the Shadow World have traveled to an area known as the Gulch, called by its undead denizens the Holy Land. It is where an undead god named Salachia, or a dead god named Salachia, is resting, and something about her deific sort of deceasement. What would the nounal form of that be? In any case, she's dead there, and her lingering presence has sunk both the gulch itself into existence and all of the undead there sort of into the pull of her gravity. They cannot leave while they are undead like her. They also, if they cause a ruckus, if they come in there and cause problems and fight and are disrespectful, something happens to them where they die. So basically, it's not the kind of place you want to cause a problem or die. Our dragons went to this place to find some wealth.
To cause a problem or die.
Exactly, to either cause a problem or die. To find wealth that is their right of salvage in exchange for a cursed book they gave to the Umbral Court. Particularly, they are looking for a ring of air elemental command. Although they were told there might be other treasure, they are. They said most of that probably would not be as good as the ring. Our dragons have come here. They have communed, or at least Tongard has communed with this dead god, who basically reaffirmed the idea. Yeah, don't cause any problems here. I'm trying to sleep. Also indicated he should be maybe just focusing on his own religion a little more, kind of just just do. When's the last time you did your deep breathing stuff? Just, come on, furtive breath. Do your thing. Everyone loves this one lich named Megan because they think she's really nice. They don't love the lich who has the rings, who is a rogue lich. Her name is Emniel. She used to be an Aasimar. She remains an asshole. Therefore, she is an Assholemar. What do we come up with? There we go. That's Assholemar. She made a lot of unpleasant offers. She indicated that she would not give them. She flat out said she doesn't even like this ring. It's not that big a deal, but she's not just going to give it to them. They have to win it from her, and they have to put up something she'd want. She's very rude, very mean. The dragons would love to kill her, but that's a bad idea here. She also manipulates.
She was ready to just go play the deck of many things with her.
That is true. Yes.
Why did we not do that? That sounds great.
Were you not around?
Because everybody cares a lot about me.
Yeah.
Oh, also,
everyone's
it's
very
not
concerned with my well-being.
It's not a full deck of many things.
It is a full deck, but she would only use some cards. It would be kind of like a 3-card Monty situation. 1
good, 2 bad.
Oh.
Yeah.
Very different proposition.
Definitely sounds worse.
Yeah.
There may be,
me, man. I'm all about pulling cards all the time.
There may be other games she'd be into, but for now we'll see. In any event, our dragons feeling that trying to make one of these deals are gambling with, because, when in doubt, do not play cards with a rogue. It's just, don't do it. You shouldn't do it, especially if there's things on the line.
Like a Sicilian. Yes, I understand.
In any case, so our dragons kind of were asking some other questions, and basically this made Megan realize, and sure enough, she asked around. Though she is from Rumono, she did find that one of the sort of priests who came here to sort of remain in undeath with their god, a lizard folk named Zax, is from a world called Mondivou. And so Zax has basically said he's not sure if it will work, but he could attempt to wish Emniel back to life, which would mean she could leave. Now, the Liches has sort of made it clear to you all that they're going to attempt this regardless of if you strike any deals with Emniel for stuff, because their primary goal is just the joy of the sea, and the sea is not joyful with Emniel here bringing everyone down. So they want her gone. Whether you're able to, arrange Emniel's safe passage out of here in exchange for that ring, or whether you decide to try to ambush her once she leaves, which might be tough. We don't know everything she's capable of, or it might be a really easy lopsided fight for 5 dragons to take on 1 humanoid.
But we do know for sure that everybody here hates her.
You know for sure that everyone here hates her, maybe with the exception of Portobello. Or he may still hate her, but he's kind of,
Portobello is really stupid.
No, in any case.
Quick question. If you bring him to life, is he gonna still be a lich?
If you bring Emniel to life,
Mm-hmm.
Emniel will no longer be a lich if she is brought to life.
That's good.
And typically liches, like even through like a true resurrection spell, like because they're undead, they're not technically dead, all this stuff. This is trying to be superseded by a wish. So that's the idea. So, am I missing any important points of our recap there?
No, I think that's about it. We were about to discuss the planning of how exactly we want to try to time this and pull it off, I think is right about where we were.
Perfect. Then in that case, we will resume with all of you standing sort of just at the edge of the gulch where you first met Megan, landed here. Behind you, that tall wall of purple mist representing the Dreadlands. It's about like a quarter mile away. It's pretty close. That sort of bounding line, just with so much wealth inside. Don't go into it. You'll be trapped there. Okay. I'm giving you every warning in the world. Don't go in. I tried this with my...
I have a feeling that we'll end up in there.
You absolutely don't have to. I will not pull you into it. You must willingly enter it as a party. This is not a horror game. Right. I'm not going to suck you into it like with no. You guys have to willingly go through it. You should not. I'm saying that now as me. Don't go in there. Just like my Friday game, I said don't cast the spell, and then they spent all session trying to cast the spell, and I gave them every off ramp I could give them, and then they cast the spell. Because that's what players do, and I love them for it. All right, with all of that in mind, let's get into it. Megan and Zax are here. Lagak is sort of actually standing. We'll say that Lagak and Buku, they were sort of staying further out away, but now Buku, you've rejoined the rest, and for now, Elon is going to go talk to Lagak, about non-fungible tables or whatever.
Yeah. All right.
One last thing I totally forgot to do. I want to thank Madbird Streams, Roll Propelled Games, Chow Jordan, Murder Hobos and Chocobros for rating us, Salty Leia Solo, Book and Dagger, Kim's Crafts, Ward, or Weird Chick, we're not sure that it's just WRD, for subscribing, Minnesota Twins, ZM345, and Zane Swords for gifting subs. The swords on Zane Swords Instagram recently have been amazing. So again, everyone check out Zane Swords. They're the best swords on the internet. Wanted to say all of that. Also, I'll mention this before I forget. We are taking next week off on account of the Super Bowl, which would probably be done by the time we're playing, but even so, I mean, come on, who wants to play after they ate all those nachos? Who could play after that? I don't have one. What do people do during their Super Bowl? Cheer?
I eat chili.
It's a team that's relevant to us in the LA area, right?
Yeah.
It's the LA Raiders.
Rams.
Yeah.
I'll be watching the Puppy Bowl.
The Puppy Bowl.
The Puppy Bowl. So yes, no game next week, thanks to all those subs. And then the last thing I always do before this game. Our dragons have 25,631 platinum pieces worth of treasure in their hoard, which they currently carry around with them like turtles. They are 89,370 platinum pieces from level 7, at which point Lagak says they could try to consume some of that wealth and grow to a higher age category. So,
not a bad idea.
With that, Lagak and Elon are set back from you a bit to keep Lagak out of the machinations of Emnail trying to possess her. Zax and Megan will wait a moment for you to plan a bit, but they intend to present this opportunity to Amniel sooner than later. We now begin.
Can I ask a question of whomever might know this? In the process of resurrecting this person or wishing them alive, whatnot, would they retain their levels, skills, and abilities, or would there be any regression to the mean in such an instance?
Zax will sort of say, I'm not completely sure in a case like this. They might. Again, this is a skeletal dragonborn, so giant sharp teeth, reptilian things, kind of tail wigging along. Yeah.
Well, I sort of.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'd assume you should probably err on the side of thinking they would if you're worried about it. They probably wouldn't retain any death magic, although I gotta tell you, Amniel, as a lich, isn't really the same as the other liches like us who are more, spellcasters or whatever.
Right.
Oh,
they
have
the
to
rogue
do this?
stuff.
Warn us before they're about to do it, because
But
Oh,
that's sort of like
we'll
the
wait a
plan
minute
we're
for
trying.
you,
Yeah, we're sort of. That's sort of. I do have a question here, Zach. So one thing I was sort of pondering about this whole process here is that, like, clearly the path Amniel took in her life was not one that was, well, let's just say it's not one that she seems to have enjoyed. She seems like she's stuck somewhere. She seems like she's not really enjoying where it's been. So if we're restoring her, is there anything we can do to sort of maybe put her in a different place, maybe change some things about her? Maybe comes back as like herself may be different in a way where she might have better opportunities to succeed.
I mean, look, I'm from Rendezvous, so, I mean, I can kind of talk to you about wishes, a lot. I mean, I gotta tell you, I'm with something like this, I'm not messing with it.
Oh, I'm basically, so I read this one time in like a really obscure text, this idea that like when people can be reborn into a different type of body, but it's still them, and they become better versions of themselves as they go through this. I think it was something called like reincarnation. Oh yeah, that was it. Is that something we could maybe do for her, so that she can become a better version of herself?
Well, I wouldn't try that, and I'll actually have this one roll. I think they are proficient. I have
Yes, Philip. I'm just asking if we can cast the spell reincarnate instead of resurrection.
I will in that case have your dear lich roll a religion check at that point. But Lord Buku, you're overhearing this, right?
Yes.
You're proficient in Arcana.
I am.
Then
Quite.
hit me with one. Oh, I rolled a 13, but it's not that game, nor do mine count.
21.
Nice.
A 21.
Yes.
So
It was a bad roll.
it's an 18 for this for Zax. Zax sort of says, "Oh, well, I mean, Zax's main thought is actually for an Arcana it would be much higher. For an Arcana it would be a 31, but for religion it's only an 18. But Zax will say, I don't think, no, I don't know that reincarnate makes you better, a better person,
Well, I don't think it would magically fix everything. I just feel like it would offer her a different opportunity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a fresh start.
I'm not sure. So this is they're making Zax is making a religion check, sort of thinking about this. That's their perspective. Lord Buku,
Also,
you have done an Arcana check. Having heard what Zax was sort of saying, and there is a lingering issue with this. You don't think that you can target an undead thing with a spell that brings them back to life. The idea of bringing her back to life using a wish, that is doable by just wishing someone back to life, and the fabric of the universe will restore their life and undo what was done. You suspect that if you tried to use a wish to simply cast reincarnate, that might not work at all because it is not a suitable target for that spell.
I'll relay that. Master Lasso, I do not feel like that's going to work, unfortunately, just due to the basis of the spell itself. It just needs a target. I'll be honest, it's not like it's my forte in how the spells are cast, but my understanding of it, and I have quite a bit of study in this field, is that this type of a method would be effective. As it is, we're already pushing the boundaries of the possibilities of magic with this original usage of the wish spell and resurrection. Being a higher tier, has more power and availability with such, creatures such as this. Forgive me of the use of creatures. I mean no disrespect, but liches are more resilient to such things than most undead.
Undead instead of being dead.
I understand now, Buku. I thought I was maybe making things simpler. It sounds like I was complicating, and I feel like last time I was talking a lot to Alana about Occam's razor and choosing the simplest path. So if I've muddied the waters here, let's just clear that up.
Master Lasso, there is nothing wrong with providing other options and perspectives in things. This is why our group is as successful as it is. The key, of course, is just making sure that we choose the right path, which is why I am here. So have no fear. I'm more than happy to keep us on the proper channel.
Thank you, Buku. Sorry, Sushi, were you trying to say something? Sorry.
I feel like I don't know anything about magic, but I do know that if you really want to see a change in your life, you have to really want that change. And I don't think Emniel wants a change.
But that's also a good point. And I do think she does want to be alive again, right?
That's true. So we have leverage. Boom.
Well said. Yes, indeed. Oh.
It's not the path I thought you were walking, but I think we're in the right destination.
Yeah, let's go.
Well, so then Zax and Megan, I don't know, should you come with us? Are we going to should we propose this, or should we just...
I think that perhaps we would be best served maintaining the leverage and being as verbose as we are, and perhaps a little bit less afflicted with personal connections, that maybe we can make this negotiation a tad smoother than, say, our wonderful friends here. They seem to be of more bony nature and less flexible.
In response to this, Megan will sort of just say, friends, I should probably point out that you're welcome to go and explain this to Emniel. But it's not a negotiation on our part.
Right.
Unless she refuses to be a willing participant, and I doubt she will, we're going to cast this spell. But we can give you a certain amount of time
let us to talk to
for
her
your
first.
negotiation.
Yeah.
We understand.
But
He doesn't have to know that.
She doesn't have to know that, true. But
also, it's probably best, if, say, this goes awry, it sounds like she's already made your life kind of not great here, Megan. So if, let's say this doesn't work out and Emniel is still stuck here, it's probably best that she doesn't know where this came from, so she doesn't know to target you and Zax with more of that unpleasantness. So
true.
Maybe then we just want to sort of present this to her to see what's going on. We know you're going to try this no matter what. We just want a little bit of a buffer, right? Maybe
That's
Tongar,
very well said.
or maybe Alan can sort of hang back with you all, and you can kind of journey with us and stay. He can sort of communicate with me kind of quietly, right?
Yeah, I can do a message. So yeah, it's pretty easy for me to just send messages to people. It's kind of like, it's not hard to do really at all. Yeah.
Right.
I think that's a great plan, Master Lasso. Absolutely. We'd be doing everyone a favor in this point, just helping them avoid potential conflict by allowing us to negotiate upon their behalf. By negotiation, I merely mean explain their objective here appropriately, so it gets a quick agreement.
If you want to
Perhaps we should just make it our idea,
deceive Emniel into giving you things that she doesn't have to, I'm fine with that, because she's just the worst. I'm just saying, your arguments have no actual bearing on our actions.
We
will
understand.
we can go, yes, but we could go with and sort of hang back, as you say. I must stay here to be on guard, but Zax can go with Tongart and
That's great.
speaks.
Then you can keep Lagak company then. Out
Very
here. I was
well.
worried Lagak would be alone.
I will keep Lagak company. Sure. Lagak's like, yeah, or I can just sit alone over there. I'm really fine. I don't, okay, thank you, Tongart, that's fine. Lagak is like calling from, like 30 feet outside the thing. He's instructed her to not come back in. Well, good luck to you. Otherwise, yes, I just, the main thing I'm going to say to you once again, don't play cards with a rogue. It's just...
Oh, okay.
Just really, I strongly advise. I mean, you are your own people. You can do as you want. That is not me as your instructor in arcane ancient dragon techniques. That is simply me as someone who's been alive longer than most of you, simply saying. In all my years, I've never heard of good coming from someone playing cards with a rogue.
Don't worry, Lagak. I'm not afraid of the odds not being in my favor, but I do resent an unfair game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, indeed.
Even if I really, really, really want to, I won't. I
won't tell you what to do, Shishu. You are in control of your own actions, of course. This is just a bit of advice from a biped.
Shall we then?
I think we shall.
On the way there, I just kind of want to propose something else to the group.
Okay. Zax is here, and he does speak Draconic.
That's fine.
Also, point of order, yeah, Lord Buku, you probably didn't understand everything Megan's saying because she's speaking Sylvan, and you wouldn't need the tongue. But they're translating, it's fine. Zax, however, is lizard folk, speaks Draconic. It's a weird accent, but it's fine.
It's fine. He can hear this. It's not really secretive or anything. I just wanted to be on more of a walk and talk kind of situation.
I can cover where my ears used to be.
That's all right.
It's fine. You're basically part of the family. I mean, you're almost dragon. As for a biped, you are clearly a cut above the rest.
Wow.
I'm just wondering if, look, I just think those cards being in her hand is not a great thing.
True.
So if we could add those cards to the rings in exchange for returning her to life, maybe that's a great idea.
Yes,
Take some danger out of the world and put it in our possession to keep it safe.
I feel like something's gonna happen. She's gonna try to be a little trickster and pull out a card while it's all happening, and then we all explode into
smithereens. But I think if he, and the shoes or the boots,
Maybe we can throw in some boots as well.
If I could, propose one little additional possibility, just so we have all our bases covered. I mean, I know Lagak said don't play cards with a rogue, but just hear me out here. If perchance we were to, gamble with her about these things, and we lost, we could just, kill her and take what we want afterwards, right?
Yeah, I mean that would be like if we were outside this sanctuary, right?
Well, I mean, obviously we'd have to wait till we got outside the sanctuary. I'm just saying that,
Yeah, I'm hoping that we can just come to a way where we just avoid all kinds of conflict and we give Amniel what she wants and she gives us what we want, and then we can just go on back. And
let's agree on something. If we make an agreement with her and she tries to run without giving us the items, then we definitely, once we are outside, we kill her, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we're gonna have to chase down what's ours. I mean, we came down here for it, and it's ours. We gotta claim it.
Righty.
I guess my only proposal is, my understanding is she's rather insistent on the gambling aspect of things, and if that becomes a sticking point, we do have other avenues of redress once that part is, whether that goes well or not.
I'm just concerned, Buku. I was under sort of the impression that were we to lose that game, it would be just sort of like one of us sort of instantly dying. Not like losing a bit of coin, but just like being a pile of ashes on the ground kind of thing.
Disintegrated.
Yes, that does pose a bit of a problem.
Yeah. The stakes are a little bit higher than initially thought as well. Like when it was a card game, that seemed all well and good. Like, sure, I'm happy to gamble. It's a good time. Hang out with some friends.
I see.
Kick back, have some chips, have some drinks.
Who doesn't like that? Yes.
Tell some stories, learn about each other, bond. It's a good time. Money's not really part of it. This is different. This is a different situation.
Understood. Well, I mean, this is why we have these discussions, to know what it is we're getting into before we get there.
I appreciate it. I appreciate the clarity we always seek to achieve in this group.
At the very least, bottom line is XigXag gets a sniff. We resurrect, reincarnate, whatever it is with this person. Follow them out of here. Do them in. We're good to go.
Hopefully it's that simple, but we'll see.
What could go wrong?
I don't see a problem. I see a single flaw. I feel like we have covered every base possible. Let's go hit a home run.
Sounds like it to me. A grand slam in that case. Well, you have arrived back at the mountain where she's waiting. With your dragon eyes, you can see Emniel is up there. Portobello is kind of wandering maybe 80 feet down the mountain on a little switchback, just kind of kicking a rock with his bony foot, sort of just in a bad mood about something she probably just called him. This is where Zax and basically this is the point where Zax and Elon are kind of they're moving over to a different mountain where we'll for sake of your plan and whatever, we'll say that they're 120 feet away, but she won't see where they are. They're behind another mountain. They're crawling up the back of another mountain, and they'll be just in range if one of you's over there, so you can communicate with them. So for now,
I'm just also I'm incapable of casting message. So Alon, if you just want to do it every couple minutes or something or a minute, you can spam me. That's fine. I enjoy hearing your voice.
Yeah. It'll just be a ping. Yeah, sure. So
the equivalent of I've equivalent got the Nextel phone.
Yep. Nextel. Oh boy, my mind goes back. So are you guys flying? Are you flying up to speak to her?
Right? Do we decide? Never mind.
We're just going to present the offer and try to get a little more for it, right? See if they agree.
I think that's the concept here.
I believe that's all.
I think we should present it as we have a counter offer.
We have found a solution to her problem.
We found a solution, and all we ask for in exchange are the items that are owed us.
Yeah, right. I think that's very fine, and I think Buku, you have the silver tongue, right?
I mean, I've been known to.
I guess in your case, it's
roll a wisdom saving throw.
Indeed.
He just talked about your tongue. Buku, roll a wisdom save. He just talked about your tongue.
19.
You're okay, but there's a part of you that's just. I mean, it hurt your stomach a little bit, but you're okay.
Yes, I have. My words have influence. Yes, I would say not. Yeah. Yes.
Keyword.
Yes. Let's just keep going if we can. I appreciate that. Perhaps we don't need to speak anymore about golden. The golden.
You're right. You eat something really spicy on the way?
No, I'm fine. Just we got a sore tooth.
Okay.
Just massaging that.
You still want to do the talking then? Should we?
Oh yeah, it's fine. There shouldn't be a problem.
All right. Then I suppose we will arrive and do this.
You're up there. She's up there. Usual, Rogue got her hood up.
Hey, girl.
Wow, that's a familiar way to say hello to me. But okay.
You know us, old friends.
Well.
Hello.
She kind of pushes back her thing, lets her wings extend a bit. Ooh. Well, you ready to play? I don't see the orc.
We had a counter offer for you.
Well, unless it involves the only living mother you have left, I don't know if the stakes are going to be to my liking.
In another way of putting it,
I'm just gonna quickly.
Oh yeah.
Like just walk up, like I'm gonna whisper something in Buku's ear, like something urgent. I'm just gonna sort of tap on the shoulder. I'm just gonna say, just breathe deep, and I'm gonna cast guidance.
Oh, can I just never mind. No, not yet.
One could say it's a counter offer. Another could say it's a solution to the problem that you currently have.
Well,
And it doesn't involve orcs. Ha ha ha.
Indeed.
Who might be my mother figure.
I think we might have a way to bring you back to life in your own body,
well, you
which
have
I
my
would
attention.
imagine is a considerable improvement upon the previous endeavor that you wish to, entice upon us.
Well, and how might you go about that?
Well, we've met some of your compatriots here and have, through strenuous negotiation, been able to convince them to do such a thing as resurrect you.
I don't think any of them have the means. If they did,
But
they would have done so already. I'm not too
And
popular
yet-
around these parts.
now, that seems strange. It's unfortunate.
Not really. They understand I'm a superior intellect, superior mind, superior spirit, and I treat them real bad, so it doesn't surprise me they love to see the other side of me.
Can I tell you
yeah.
something? I
Welcome
very
to-
much relate to what you're talking right now.
Well-
Continue.
Good for you. I mean, probably not. I think you just have delusions of grandeur, because you're a tiny little thing surrounded by much bigger, more impressive specimens. But sure, tell
Well-
yourself that, sweetheart.
Well, if you feel like size is everything, I suppose then, that only goes to show how small your mind is.
I just know how dragons think, because you being little means you're the poorest of all of them, as far as
Oh.
I understand.
See, again, your understanding is misinformed because that, in fact, is not the case.
Wonderful.
More importantly, I come from a very noble lineage. No offense to my compatriots here, but much more so than they.
No,
No
I'm gonna
offense.
go over and tap Buku and just.
Well,
I said no offense.
Well-
You understand. See, this is a reaction I'm sure you can relate to. We
Well,
are
glad to know
kindred
I'm in-
spirits here.
glad to know I'm in the presence of a highfalutin, filthy sky lizard who just takes whatever they want and ruins things for everyone else. It makes talking to you go down so much smoother. So are we?
I do
playing
understand why
role?
people don't like you.
I just
Do you-
what I want to know is why I should believe you that any of these stupid sons of liches out there are gonna be able to bring me back.
Why? What
Proof
reason
of
do you
the
have to
pudding
doubt
is in
us?
The eating,
Because
right?
they don't
So-
have that ability.
And yet,
Well-
if they can resurrect you, what do you have to lose?
Oh, nothing, but they would have done it already. As I said, I ain't popular.
We don't ask for any payment up front, but merely an agreement here. You have things that, in truth, belong to us.
Oh, these?
A fair yes, those. Yes, indeed.
So wait, you're saying that if I give you these rings, they're going to resurrect me to life?
In fact, what I would say is, I will get them to resurrect you to life first. But in exchange, afterwards, if it's successful, then you give us our rings.
The cards and the boots.
And I think the cards as well, as that seems a fair
Wow.
exchange. Well,
And the
we
boots.
are giving you your own body back.
The rings might be worth it. I've only had these since I took a trip to the Shadow World. These cards have been mine for a long time, and they'll stay mine. What was the last thing you asked for?
Boots. Boots.
These? Points at her
Yes.
boots. Well, we can throw that into the mix, I suppose. The cards, no, you'd have to pry them from my cold, undead hands. Or, as what I imagine is your real plan, from my cold, dead, previously living hands. As far as I can tell, your plan is to resurrect me, which I'm still pretty iffy on. And then, once I mosey on out of here, which is all I've wanted to do, 5 dragons swoop down on one poor little innocent rogue. I don't love my odds.
Is there such thing as an innocent rogue?
No, I was using
There you go. So,
figure of speech.
Our main objective in coming here was to retrieve what is ours. What is ours are those rings. If we can do so without any entanglements, fights, aggressions, that's beneficial to all parties.
Then let's phrase it like this. Though I would prefer to play you for them. Because why not gamble when one could? I can recognize that I'm in the presence of cowards. So I will make the following proposal. If I can be restored to the world of the living, I would give you dragons these rings in exchange for safe passage out of this place.
and the boots.
Well, I need to walk, darling.
I'll
I
have
can't
another
fly.
pair of.
I mean, I can, but not for that long.
I'll can I exchange them for you. I have a very nice pair of brand new shoes over here.
XigXag, the boots? Is it this? Is this? It's a deal breaker, isn't it?
Tell you what,
We would need the
XigXag.
boots.
Tell you what, XigXag. That's your name.
Yes.
I'll play you for the boots.
No.
No.
This
No.
I got,
If
man, I
anyone's
got
playing, I'm playing.
the cowardly
No.
dragons. My goodness, a bunch of. I mean,
You
I
are
see
not
that one of
hurting my
you is
feelings.
literally yellow, but I suppose there's a
Okay,
yellow tint
okay.
to your sheen
That's-
there. You're a bit yellow, sort of silver, and this one and the one who ain't here right now, they're both sort of
I
gold,
have
so that's
no
yellow.
feelings,
I
so
suppose
you
it makes
cannot-
sense that y'all are,
you
and
cannot
maybe
hurt them.
you're obsidian. You're not quite as yellow, but I didn't realize obsidian's also the gemstone of
Very
of
much understand why
cowardice.
people want to kill this one.
But oh dear. Well, I
Yeah,
don't know.
very
He's
unpopular.
talking
I understand
more
why.
than you do, Buku. This is terrible.
But if the toll for getting out of here without getting breathed upon, provided you are trustworthy dragons, which of course you did just say to me.
We are totally trustworthy.
Well,
How are we to trust you in exchange?
Yeah.
What agreements do we have that once we
Well-
get you to the border that you won't just abscond with all of our treasure?
No, the deal would simply be I would be putting all my faith in you. I will hand you these pretty little rings.
The shoes
And
and
then
the boots.
all you have to do is not kill me. If you come for me, if you try to impede me or take any other property of mine, well, then you're the one who's causing trouble.
That seems like a fair agreement.
As much as I absolutely do not like this person and wish harm upon them, I think this is a fair agreement as well.
Fine. Can I make a perception check to not be sure that those rings are really the rings?
Make a perception
No
check.
shenanigans.
Sure.
Can I make an insight check?
You may.
Just on.
Oh, you weren't here last week. Go ahead. Yeah.
What?
No, go ahead. Go ahead and roll one.
Roll
29.
never mind.
real well.
I rolled a 2. It's a 12. Never mind.
Oh, well.
It doesn't matter what I was asking
Zigzag.
about.
29. 29.
The rings currently being shown to you are real.
Okay.
Insight, you don't. I mean, honestly, it's not even what she's saying. There doesn't even sound that deceptive. She's basically saying she'll hand these to you, hoping that you then don't go back on the deal and come for her.
Right. Well, we can. Just so we're clear here, we outside this border here, I believe you probably are aware, it's a fairly dangerous place. So while we're agreeing to no harm coming from us, we can't necessarily guarantee your safety out of here.
Oh, I'm not so worried. I'm worried about a concerted 5 dragons simultaneous breathing upon me. I'm
If
not
you
worried
don't
about
cheat us, we will
what else is
let you
out there.
live.
To be honest, our coordination isn't quite that great yet. It's about like a quarter of a second apart. It's not really simultaneous.
Well, that's good news.
But that's not
Now,
really going.
what dangers do y'all know out there? It is a dangerous place. You're not wrong about that. What are these
Well, there
dangers
just
you
seems to
speak
be a
of?
lot of myths out there and things hiding in it. That's all I really know.
Oh my. Y'all know about those mists, right?
Well, we've been talked to extensively about it, yeah.
Oh, I hope no
Just
one's
really
I
not
hope
to
no
go
one's
there.
telling you, oh, you should absolutely not venture into those mists. Those mists are a prison that is most inescapable. Those domains of dread, I've been to one before.
How did you get
So
out?
they're not escapable then.
Oh
They're
no.
not inescapable.
They're inescapable. I didn't escape. I was
Oh,
sent
you were
out.
rejected.
I was sent out on
I see.
purpose.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Well,
But I'm just telling you, you dragons, I wish ill upon you, and I hope that your hordes, I hope that you're kind of hunted down to the ends of the multiverse, and your hordes are spread amongst just all sorts of unworthy people in your eyes, etc. But
well,
don't go
and I
Sticks
there.
and
hope-
stones. Sticks
those
and
places are good.
stones.
I'm
And
just trying to
Emil-
offer you some kind advice. If I were you, whatever you do not go into those mists. Nothing but trouble inside.
well, it seems like
Okay.
we mostly have an agreement here on what our next course of action is.
Although,
Does
if you
everyone
want
agree?
more from me, if you're good with that agreement, that's fine. But I gotta tell you, I took a lot more from that umbral court than just these rings. And if you want it all, maybe we could play for it.
What games do you like?
me.
Tell us about the games. I can't.
No.
Cards, coins.
I mean, no harm in hearing about it, right? Am I right? Am I right, other dragons?
If-
Yes, right?
if-
So
No.
tell us.
If you are
No.
too cowardly to play with a deck of many things, she slips that back in her robe. No problem. I got a normal deck of playing cards here. We could just play with those. We could just do a dice game. Y'all ever like rolling the bones?
Don't play with a rogue.
We could do it for a coin flip. I got a coin we could use. Why
No.
right here?
No.
Just
I'll play a game
heads.
with you.
No.
Well,
no.
but you gotta stake something.
Fish.
Yeah,
Dark.
see, that's the
No.
problem, Shishu.
That's
It's going
the
to come
point.
back to offering up Lagak again. That's the only thing we have of value that she.
I'll play a game with you. But you know what you have to do? You have to fight alongside of us.
I have to fight alongside of you. Who are
You have to
and-
join us.
Are you crazy? Are you crazy? No.
You who
Shishu,
who are y'all
do
expecting
feel like
to
I should
fight?
object.
We already
this.
have Boku. We don't need another egomaniac. No offense, Boku.
Sick bird
Lord.
on Buku.
This is very impolite and uncouth. I've done nothing but,
I said-
endeavor for the betterment of this
I
group.
said no offense.
I said no offense. That makes it okay.
I feel like maybe before we go to
Fair.
any other sort of agreements or bargains or wagers or games of chance here, testing each other's boundaries, maybe we should see how our first agreement that we've all sort of settled on goes.
Yes.
Well,
And if we both prove to be trustworthy and of our word, maybe then there's more to be had.
I suppose
Master
that makes
Lasso makes a
sense.
good point.
Fair enough.
I'm
Well,
just
then-
feeling like Emniel's asking for an awful lot, and we're just getting rings.
What I'm asking for, well then all I'm really asking for is something that if you were honorable dragons, you might just give freely, which is the ability to walk out of here without anyone attacking me.
God, I don't like him.
Just
Don't
let
like
me
him at
go.
all.
Just let me go. Just let me walk. Just let me walk out of here and you don't come for me. And that's what a charitable person would do. That's what I would do. If I came here and y'all
Charitable
had some of my
person.
rings, yeah, of course.
Emniel, I can promise you that based off of our interactions we've had here, I don't think any of us ever want to see you again after we conclude whatever we do.
I know, that's why it was so strange she wanted me to fight against somebody with you. I was most confused by that prospect. So
I'm just trying to get you to do something, anything that might be stretching your comfort zone.
Darling, I've done a lot to stretch my comfort zone here, let me tell you. But here's the situation. Right now, this is all hypothetical, because I do not believe there is a means of bringing me back to life that exists here in this place. Now, whatever little scheme you think is going to happen, I have to be brought back to life in order for me to hand these over without you fighting and causing a ruckus for our sleeping god, correct?
Correct.
So, let's make that happen, and then we can make whatever agreements are necessary.
Let's do it.
Very well. Very well.
So how are you doing this? I am curious.
I will.
see.
At this
Don't
point, I will
tell.
just sort of. I
It's a
assume Alon has
surprise.
been sort of like constantly, and I'll just sort of now, in a whisper that only he can hear, say, "Go ahead and tell Zax to give it a shot."
All right. Zax will give it a shot. So I rolled the likelihood of this working already, and it so conveniently came out to a 95% chance. So Pierce, do me a favor and roll a d20. If you don't roll a 1, this will work.
Oh,
Oh my
can I
God.
say something before it happens? I'd like to take the dodge action.
The dodge action? Understood.
Yes.
You're dodging. You're
Okay.
hard to hit.
Okay,
Just don't roll a 1. It'll work.
it's a 4.
4.
Ooh.
So Emneal's saying, all right, well, I'm open to it. Elon hears Zax say something. Basically just make a wish. And there's a strange quality to the air when this happens. He'll tell you guys about this later, I imagine, unless you all die now. With that,
What?
Emneal sort of thinks for a second, and all of a sudden she kind of, and suddenly it happens. It's almost like it looks like almost like the mask from like the Jim Carrey movie. It's like suddenly just skin just slaps over her face and hands. Her wings just puff out with feathers. Hair shoots out of her hair. You see an incredibly beautiful, softly glowing Aasimar woman. She has like blonde hair, and just... Oh. Well, all right. Wow.
And I'm over.
Hold on. So the terms are you are going to let me walk away, right? That's what the agreement was.
After you gave
How
us
did
the
you do
ring.
that?
We're very clever.
Oh man, I got a heartbeat and everything. I'm handing you these rings, and you're not coming for me. Is that correct?
That's
the
the
boots.
understanding, yes.
All right.
Can I have the
you-
boots too?
You cannot have the boots unless you want to play me for them. She takes off the rings and says, "See you around, Gusty." And she places the rings of Air Elemental Command in your hand. All right. Well, in that case, I'm going to mosey on out of here.
Can I make an Arcana check just to make sure the actual thing?
You may make an Arcana check on the rings. Absolutely.
18.
These appear to be the magical rings in question.
I would like to escort her out of here.
I put them on.
You slide them on. They will take some time to attune to. But yeah, you can.
I don't even have to
certainly
keep them.
do so.
I just want to put them on.
They do size up. They were incredibly small because they were on her like bony fingers. Then they moved up to her fingers. They sort of resize slightly. At your size, they're 2 rings connected by a chain, so they kind of like hold the 2 of your fingers together, but doesn't really prevent you from doing anything. There you go. You're gonna escort her out?
Mm-hmm.
She's like, wonderful. You can escort me out. Well, I'm heading this way. She says, all right. She goes ahead and kind of activates her wings, which she can use. But she can use a little more than like a
Do we
standard
need to
Aasimar, but just
escort
not
her
all
out?
day. What's that?
Do we need to escort her out?
You're welcome to, provided you. I mean, you said you're not going to hurt me when I leave here. You're not going to try to take anything that's mine or cause me harm. So
yeah, she wants to. I don't see any harm in doing it.
Do the rest of you go along with her? Portobello's like, what? Are you alive now? Wait, where are you go? What am I? And she just doesn't even look at him and flies out. Are you all flying along with her?
I'm gonna fly along with her.
Cool.
Yeah, sure.
So she.
I wanna. Ooh, what is the safe range from a mastermind rogue?
It depends on safe.
I would like to. Can I fly ahead?
Sure.
Okay.
You can fly faster than her, certainly. So
Do we know where the exit is? I guess.
She's very quiet when she flies over, the dead body of Salachia, which is a kind of. She also glides the way you do. She seems legit, kind of like nervous. She's not sort of hiding her, just like no one screwed this up. She just flies past that. Elon and Zax are kind of coming over. Oh, speaking of poor Zax, Zax has certainly been, lessened by the casting of this wish spell. Oh wait, no, he hasn't. Just kidding. In any event,
I feel like we should do something nice for Zax.
But you guys get back to where Megan is, and she sort of lands near Megan and goes, "Megan, look at me. I'm beautiful again, and you look like an undead monster."
All right, let's go. Let's go.
Wow. Really unnecessary.
God, you were just so hideous.
Out.
Well, I'm leaving now, so you got what you wanted. I can't figure out how you worked it off, but impressive. Dragons, thank you so much for my safe passage. I hope that I'm not worried about the liches. They can't hurt me when I walk out of here either, can they?
She's really the worst.
So yeah,
Just
the
worst.
But dragons, you gotta. Now you're not gonna come after me, are you? You're gonna let me go?
Go. Just.
Do you have anything else that is ours on you?
Oh yeah, that's. You said you had salvage rats. I have. I mean, the rings weren't everything. I stole more than they realized from there. I got so much more. But you said you're not coming for it, so don't change your mind. That wouldn't be very sporting of you. Oh, man. I mean, you think those rings are valuable. These cards, this is a very special set, let me tell you. But in any event, it's been lovely speaking to you all. Thank you so much for motivating my return to life. And I will hopefully never see any of your hideous, disgusting, putrid, terrible faces again. She turns and walks out.
Is it like she walks out of a portal, or like where does she walk out of?
No, she walks back into the Dreadlands.
I'm gonna follow her.
Okay.
Into the Dreadlands. How many times we don't go in the Dreadlands?
Into the Dreadlands? Into the purple?
She's walking straight towards the purple.
Don't follow her.
It's 1,000 feet away. If you're following, you can follow her a bit. But she makes. Oh, still on my tail, huh?
You said, why are you going to the Dreadlands? Didn't you say that you were trapped in there?
Oh, I'm not going to the Dreadlands, and you should not go in, whatever
Where are you going?
I mean, is it really your business?
I just want to know in case our paths cross again.
Well, if our paths shouldn't cross again. You said you weren't. Now you're already following me.
No, our paths are still crossing now. In the current moment. They haven't stopped crossing and then they started crossing again.
So you're also going this way? Because the rest of your dragons are back there, but you're here with me. She's kind of picking up her pace slightly. I mean, obviously you're faster than her, whether she flies or runs. But she's now kind of coming up to the Dreadlands. So you're coming this way too?
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure these are the Dreadlands? Yeah, I don't think you.
I'm not going in the Dreadlands. Neither are you.
I wouldn't go in there. It's a bad place to go.
Then don't go in there.
You
better turn away.
Outside, just outside, but I don't.
I mean, I just, What are y'all
Elon
really
with
up
us
to?
at this point?
Elon is back with you, yeah. What is y'all really up to?
Buka's gonna whisper to Lasso, if she goes in, we're not following, right? Like this is we all understand we don't go in there.
No, I think we might have to. I mean, I know everyone's warned us, but literally every description they give us is identical to every place we've been. Every place we've been has some sort of master of the domain, and we have to get permission to go in and come out. It's literally
remember,
everywhere
we don't have time to waste.
I mean, it's just She's now like she's basically halfway there. She's like 500 feet away. Shishu's sort of on Shishu, are you continuing on with her? You're now halfway to the Dreadlands. Like, you really, this is a dangerous place for you to be. I don't know if
I'm not in the Dreadlands.
Neither am I. No one should go in there.
Do we need to keep pace with her then? Is it? I mean,
yeah. The rest of you, no one else has gone. So right now, Shishu's 500 feet away, 1-on-1 with the rogue. That's a more dangerous situation for Shishu. Spoiler alert. The rest of you are still back there, but you're faster dragons.
Can not Thangard, Shishu's brother message her to come the hell
she's
back?
500 feet away. He can't message you anymore.
Yeah.
It's too
I'm
far.
gonna start flying after. I'm gonna start dashing.
Oh,
God,
wait,
are we
look.
all fine?
Look, they're all coming after me. What is this?
Y'all can stay. I'm gonna see if I can calm this down.
They're coming after me. They're not coming after you.
Well,
Nobody
then
likes you.
Why don't you stay here? She kind of starts walking backwards. Why don't you stay right here, and I'll just carry on my way, but don't come into the Dreadlands. It's very, very dangerous.
Can I shot Shishu? Come back.
What if
No
the
matter
Dreadlands
how-
is like amazing?
No matter how many treasures there might be, she kind of, presents her cards. No matter, oh, y'all smell treasure, don't you? I mean, you can smell.
So?
You can spell
That's
all
not
my
a weakness,
treasure.
that's a strength.
No, it's not. I'm just saying. I'm sort of now. I think I realized it though, because I mean, I'm sure you can smell. She draws her sword, and Shishu, her sword is worth so much. I mean, you got some good stuff in there. She's even further back towards the Dreadlands, and of course, I mean, and she kind of she sort of gestures to her armor. You see the symbol of the Umbral Court upon it, and there's again this sense of weight that's valuable. She goes, but of course I'm not, because really the situation. And then she pulls this little black handkerchief out from her pocket, and at this point she's walking backwards. If you're kind of keeping pace with her, she's now maybe 300 feet from the Dreadlands.
Gonna push her in there.
She opens this little folded up handkerchief she has. And Shishu, you do get this whiff of wealth, as if it's inside of that, which seems impossible, spatially speaking. She's got this black handkerchief. She's just pulling it out of her robe, just opening it. So much treasure. Yeah, that's right.
I want to alight in flight and accidentally hit her with my wing.
Understood. So you come to hit her with a wing. Roll initiative for me, please.
How close am I at this point?
You're about 100 feet away from that. Okay. Well, oh, I have to roll her a new die for her now that she's alive again.
16.
16. You do that you kind of you move quickly, and you kind of try to accidentally smack her with a wing.
Not to hurt her, just to be a bitch.
Understood. Gotcha. So you kind of move in there. In response to this, she sort of sees you coming. And she actually has the drop on you slightly. As you approach, actually, I'm going to let her roll an insight, because she rolls a natural 20. She understands you're just slapping her. She's like, oh! She kind of lets that carry her back a little further. That was so rude of you. She's kind of, she's moving very quickly backwards, almost kind of half flying, beating her wings. Tongart's kind of coming up from behind you.
Everything about you is rude.
Oh, well. At this point, Shishu, she's getting to the point where the mists are sort of swirling around. She goes, if I were you, I would not come any closer.
I'm not coming any closer.
Well, good. Then I don't have to keep running so dangerously close to these mists, do I?
I'm sprinting over there, by the way.
Yeah. At this point now,
once they
and
get
Buku,
contact,
Buku and Tongart and Elon and everyone are now kind of they're all lighted up.
I want to get her with my breath. I want to just breathe on her. Just try to slow her down.
Understood. So you were using your breath weapon.
Yeah.
Okay. So in that case, what is your current dragon save DC?
16.
16, huh? And that's a fire breath, right? So it's a dexterity effect?
Oh, so I thought it was a slowing breath. Is it? Oh, but is it?
Oh, you're using your slowing breath.
Yeah.
Understood. Okay. So you. You're trying to. You're not trying to hit her with a fire. You expelled the slowing breath, so she sees that. Okay. She has. Wait. That's probably is that a Constitution. I probably have to look that up. Hold on.
You know what? I'm not sure. Let me look in the book
that's
here.
the slowing breath is a Constitution saving throw. Interestingly, she does manage to for a con save. She rolls exactly a 16. For a deck save, she was going to be way over it, and she was like, no damage, I'm fine. Well, you're breathing. But she sees that and goes, now you are breaking the rules. Now she's about like 30, 40 feet from you. She's about 60 feet from the point where the mists are complete. So that means you're within 100 feet of the mist. You like, there's this purple stuff. The rest of the dragons, they're all winding up behind it. She's like, that was so, you broke the rules of that agreement.
What rules?
Well, you attacked me. And
I was just trying to slow you down to keep you from going into the mist.
Oh no. See, what you did is you were trying to slow me down so I'd stumble into the mist. That doesn't seem like an okay thing to do at all. This is so dangerous for all of us here. This is not a good place and now at this point all the dragons are with you, kind of, 90 feet from the mist. This is not a good place for any of us to be. We're all in so much danger, but I guess I'll take your word for it that you were just trying to slow me down. You were just trying to help me out. You haven't broken our deal.
Everything all right here, Shishu?
Well,
yeah, everything's fine.
She hit me with her wing, and she used her dragon breath on me. This was a lot, y'all.
You gonna believe a tattletale? Whatever.
We're no longer in the undead area, right?
You are not. No,
right.
You are out. You are here in the
neutral territory.
Are there any ramifications to breaking our deal?
I bet there will be.
As far as
No, we'll just fight with her and she'll try to kill us. She's
Roll
probably
an
pretty powerful.
insight. Somebody with high, whatever, roll an insight.
Can I roll an insight on that? Is that something I could check?
roll an insight on it, sure.
22. I'm sorry, 20. Flat 20.
A 20. I'll say this, even though she is immune to anything that would like read her mind, she's that kind of rogue. So you can't tell if she's lying. You feel that she is goading you. So
Gotcha.
You cannot think of anything that would you're out of that realm. You can't think of anything that would break a deal. I mean, you guys made a deal, and strictly speaking, if you attack her now, you are going back on it, but you can't think of any like external force that would penalize that.
Perfect. Okay. Then in that case, I would like to say to her, I'd say, Shishu, we should not break our deal, but I am curious as to why you wish us to. I mean, if you wish to fight, you can just ask us to fight. We'll gladly oblige you, but it's strange.
I want to hit her so bad.
Of course, she's very annoying, but for some reason, she's very. I can't help but get the impression that she actually wants us to fight her. She wishes us to break this agreement as if it's.
Don't do what she wants you to do.
It's very strange.
Look,
in fact, so strange. I think all of us. I think what we should do. I feel very strongly about this, Shishu. I don't always, but I think we should turn around and walk away.
Yeah, fly away.
I think that is a great plan. I've only come close to these mists, hoping to kind of dissuade you all from getting too close to me. I don't want to venture one step closer.
Panga,
you're clearly lying. It's not a big deal. Just you have your own plans that, for some reason, involve us attacking you, which makes no sense to me since we're dragons and you're not. But apparently, that's your plan, and I, for one, don't like to walk into that. So it's fine.
You absolutely should not follow me, and I really don't want you to attack me. I really don't want you to try to harm me, because then you.
She has so much wealth on her too. She's just taunting.
I do have so much wealth on me.
See, every time she says she doesn't, she does.
You want to know how much I'm holding? Oh, I mean, I really am. And at this point, you got to pull this out. And I mean, you guys can smell the wealth. And she kind of like, she kind of half unfolds this portable hole, and she starts pulling out more stuff, and you guys are smelling. She goes, why, wait, even without those rings, why, I think I've got almost 1 million gold on me here. You know, at market values and such. This is a pretty full portable hole after all. No, you're right, I am so wealthy. I really am. So I really don't want dragons attacking me for that reason. So please, please, I'm begging you, go away. Let me move away from this danger. I am so.
Friends,
I am
remember that
to
she
this.
was. Remember that she was someone who convinced Portobello to go against his entire people and steal from his queen, and ended up trapping here, and then just abandoned him to never come back, which was pretty clear to me that that's what's going on there. Yeah. So if she is doing all this, if she is pulling out wealth when we're on the verge, when there's tensions running high, and she is just jabbing you in the eye right now, Shishu, there's a plan here. There's something going on here. There's some advantage she's working.
Bites her own claw.
Can I grab Shishu's tail and kind of try to pull her backwards?
Sure.
Let me at her. Let me at her.
Don't hurt yourself, honey. I know that thinking this much is very taxing on your brain, but don't harm your body. It's you know, you're almost attractive for a dragon, so that's like the one thing you've got going on. Don't bite yourself and have a score.
Emil, what you need to do right now, shut your mouth and walk away.
Oh, no,
right now I'm holding back the gates of hell. And you keep trying to get out, try to pull me out of the way. And right now, I need you to shut your mouth and walk away.
I would love to walk away, but I got 5 big scary. Well, I got 4 scary dragons and 1 tiny little cute little fraidy cat dragon.
Yes.
I see a way out right over there.
That's the Dreadlands. I can't go that way.
That seems to be the way you were walking and the way you were pulling us from.
It's not. I was simply trying to evade harm from dragons who were clearly living up to their reputation, trying to break a deal.
Oh my. You seem quite close to that. Are you sure you're safe? We can pull you away from that. I'm very uncomfortable with you being so close to the Dreadlands.
I don't want to go into Dreadlands, and I don't want to be harmed by you. I'm between the proverbial rock and the hard place. The rock being whatever is an excuse for Shishu's brain.
Hey guys, assume that every word that he's saying is a lie.
Have you ever listened to what a biped says and taken it seriously?
No.
Why would we start
wait, what
now?
about that biped who's your mother?
Dummy dumb face.
Why would we start now?
What about that biped who's your mother?
In fact, I think all of us should just begin walking away, and Lord Buku's just going to begin walking away.
Please walk
away. You know
what?
what? Then why did you walk out of the land of the dead and not make a right turn or a left turn? Why did you go straight for the Dreadlands?
Shishu, you're not going to get real answers.
You were coming straight for me. I was worried. I was trying. I thought that you'd have enough sense that you wouldn't follow me this direction, but clearly I was wrong to think you'd have any sense.
Everyone, we should be moving. Come now. Let's move. We're not getting anywhere here. Come on, let's go. If they wish to fight, they can fight us. If they wish to talk and negotiate, they can do that. We are open to such things, and they know this. They wish us to do something else. Let's not give them the satisfaction of even listening until they actually agree to some kind of terms we can, abide by. Come on, let's walk away.
Please let me move.
I'm gonna walk away. And if our paths cross again, you will be dead.
Well, I've been dead before a lot. It hasn't really stopped.
I'm walking away. I don't care what you say.
No, it's fine. I can't imagine you understood most of what I've said anyway.
As everyone is turning and like leaving, I just want to look her in the eye one more time to say, I hope in your many journeys on here that you find the one thing that you seem to be missing, which is just the smallest fragment of love in your heart. And just the smallest fleck of kindness. Because I think you will be just a walking undead mass, ugly inside and out, until you do.
Wait.
And I will just turn and begin to walk away.
Wait, did you just call me ugly?
I don't say anything, I just keep walking away.
That SMR is an ugly asshole. She should just sing it really loud.
Wait. They are insulting me. Well, now, does that mean that I'm being harassed? Well, does it? Those of you is anyone even looking back at her?
No.
Understood. Then, XigXag, you would hear like the metal of a coin. She flips a coin. Hold on, I gotta flip this for real, but I can't do it at the desk. It's too.
Oh my god, what's happening?
This is whether or not this works.
Oh no.
I am so angry right now.
I
Her
hate
response
her so
to this
much.
is, they're harming me. They've hurt my feelings. You feel it, right? They hurt my feelings. They broke the deal. They've.
It doesn't
She
have
takes a
feelings.
point of psychic damage. Lord Buku, you feel a tingle on your fingers and those rings disappear. XigXag, you hear rings rattling. Oh, that's better. They broke the deal. Oh, well, good. Be seeing y'all. And then she begins to move into the mist.
Can I breathe my breath at her?
Absolutely. What is the range on
This
your
is
breath
accurate.
actually at this point?
That is a good question. 15-foot cone. I have no idea.
Oh,
No idea.
here. I'll look. I
This
got
is
to
the
look
session
it up.
I'm gonna feel full of regret.
You're like, should have killed her.
So much anger.
I just wanted her to be the most unlikable character.
It worked.
Success.
Buku.
Success.
What level are you guys? 6? Is it a
Yes,
cone
we
or
are.
is it a cone or a line?
It is a cone.
I'm sorry, that is only 30 feet, so you will have to move toward her, and she is already
I will-
moving.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes, whatever.
So basically, she is rogue dashing to 60 feet behind her into the Dreadlands. You are flying 30. So basically, you'll have to fly. You'll have to basically fly like up to like 30 feet from the Dreadlands to do this. Are you comfortable doing that?
Fine.
Understood.
Fine.
So Lord
Yes, we're going
Buku,
into the Dreadlands.
30
you get
feet could be
there.
30 miles. I don't care.
What kind of save is this?
This is an intelligence save.
Ooh, that's good for her too. I believe.
Well,
rogues-
if we are doing it, can I breach too?
if are you flying as well?
Yes. Well,
Alright.
I have a line, so.
Yes.
I get advantage on intelligence checks? God damn it. I always forget these things. Continue. Sorry.
Rogues do have
Mastermind.
rogues have proficiency in intelligence, so it's not a huge roll for her. What is your save? 16.
Yeah.
Okay.
God damn it. Is that right? Yeah, that's gotta be right.
Actually, it's totally hopeless.
+5, +8, +4. Is that right? Is that right?
Yeah,
know if
I
that's
think
right.
most of you are 16 right now because you're 3
I
plus
guess so.
5 plus 8. Yeah, or yeah. So in that case, you hit her with this. Now, does this do damage in response?
It does do damage,
Cool.
or she can be stunned.
Understood. Well, she'll definitely take the damage, but what is she does save against it? Does it do damage in either direction?
It's psychic damage.
Oof, that's
What?
she will take it. So roll
Yeah,
your
I think
damage.
it
She will
does.
be taking half.
Okay.
She did succeed.
Which is 6d10 currently.
It's a lot of
Thank
damage
you.
you do. 6d10 is a good bit.
Is it not a DC 17 save at this point?
It might be.
Am
She
I
rolled
wrong
a
about
20,
that?
so it doesn't really. It might. Yeah, it could. Honestly, it actually depends on how you calculate your dragon stuff. So it might be 17 for you.
Okay. 10, 20, 34, 36.
36 is a good bit. So that's 8. So she's now taken 19 points of psychic damage from the one that she begged the universe to give her, the fates, and they did. So
So upset by this whole situation.
Oh,
she's the worst. She's just the worst.
Seeing that this has gone down as it has, I am just going to... This is not going to go well, but I'm going to just sort of fly towards her.
Okay.
Oh,
just-
could I?
Attempt to just grab her.
He's
Okay.
almost in the mist. You're gonna be
Could I-
sucked in.
Could I have as a bonus action use my plan of attack?
Oh,
Sure.
and are we using any
'Cause that adds a 2d12 to my damage.
strategies? Do we have strategies here?
2d12 to your damage. Great. We haven't rolled initiative here. So Tongart's going. She'd already moved. Tongart, you're kind of moving after this. You're trying to get to her. Please make an athletics check, just like a really beating the thing. Yeah.
Another 13 damage.
I was saying I would like to do a breath arrow though.
Oh, well, your breath arrow you could absolutely do at your range. Sure thing. Go ahead and make your
At
attack
120.
roll. Yeah, you've got. She's well within your range of that, so you can do that. 13 more. Oof.
It's not,
What is my
not the worst, but
for
there's no way she's
spells?
not squirming out of it.
My spell attack?
Your spell your arrow attack.
7, right?
It should
No.
be your arrow attack is it's probably a +7, yes.
Then it's 22.
22.
hit.
22
It's
is-
no, never mind. It's not. It's a charisma saving throw.
No, oh no, if you're using your breath arrow, it's an attack roll.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
God,
22.
Okay.
she doesn't have any kind of, she doesn't have shield anymore because she's not a thing. That will hit. And then Tongart, what did you roll in your athletics roll?
23.
23. Okay, you are able to get to her before she's disappeared. That being said, you understand that you are basically at the edge of the mist at this point. This is dangerous.
I do.
You may now make your grapple attack on her.
Oh, I thought that was the okay.
No, that was to see if you could get to her because she'd already started running. I was just saying
I understand. Okay.
You're flying past Buku. Buku, he's going even further in. XigXag's further back. Shishu, are you doing anything at this point to this just thoroughly unlikable person?
23 again.
23. Okay, she does get to try to
I feel like she's gonna get out of this.
acrobatics. She's you know what though? She's actually not she doesn't have expertise in acrobatics, so it's not a +17. It's just a
Does
plus
she have to
11.
roll? She has a lot. I'm sure she has a reliable talent. Oh, she
That's
does
with a
have to roll.
21. Yeah.
Hold on. I need to roll my damage.
14 on the die is a 25. So you kind of grab her and you're grabbing into the mist, and she, as you're in there, she kind of smiles at you and you see her face. And Tongart, with your perception of 18, you have two different senses on you. Okay. You can smell two different, very prominent things. XigXag, go ahead and what's your damage?
36.
36.
Did you give yourself an
Plus.
advantage on that roll, Tangart?
No, never mind. No.
Are we in a flight since we
No.
rolled initiative?
We
We
didn't
haven't
roll
rolled initiative. We should have
Shishu did.
probably.
I'm fighting in my head at least.
I just rolled it off between the two of them.
I know.
where are we at?
I'm just.
So XigXag, that's 30. Okay, so basically XigXag, you do hit her, so she winces as she gets hit, but she manages to dodge out from yours. And then Tongart, you smell, in one nostril, you smell the sea. You smell salt and kind of brine coming through the mist. The other side smells dry, desert-like. It's a very strange momentary sensation. And she docks under you. She gets hit by this burst of just psychic energy. She's ah! Nevertheless, she kind of looks up at you and smirks, and she says, very, very softly, you hear her, no one else does. Got one for you, handsome, and 4 more on the way. And then you see her fade into the mist, and Tongart, you also feel yourself inexorably pulled in.
Let's go.
I told
Now,
you guys,
now,
you didn't
now,
have to
hold
do
on.
it. I mean,
Hold
then I
on,
said
I
the
don't-
most haunting things, but you didn't have to.
Let's
go.
get
We
Tongar.
didn't do it. We walked away. Now look, I know Master Lasso is a very big part of our group, but I have
No,
to.
Buku. No, we have to get him. I'm gonna get him. I go after Tongart.
All right. Elon's like yelling for you to not go. So if you go into the mist, Shishu is also being pulled. Elon is not going to not go after Shishu. Like, that's not happening. Elon will absolutely go after Shishu. There's an interesting thing here,
we can't do this by ourselves, XigXag, can we?
Lagak is not with you, is she?
No, Lagak is back by Megan. I don't think any of us grabbed her.
Oh, no. Fascinating. All right. So Buku and XigXag, you're standing there. The others have gone in. Am I right? I really don't want to make a decision for Elon, but I cannot imagine if Shishu goes in, he does not chase after.
Elon would go in.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, XigXag?
Might as well.
I mean, I can think of many things that we might as well not do in this situation, but I feel like all of our fortunes are tied with our brethren.
Simply, but I agree with you.
Shall I go first, or would you like to lead the way?
Let's go together.
Ah, beautiful. Indeed.
So Tongart,
Almost
then
romantic.
Shishu, then Elon, then XigXag and Lord Buku together. I feel like it's almost too mean what I do in these games. I told you guys not to go. Then I made it so like I know they're going in. And then I really thought you weren't, and then you insulted her and she called on her power and it did what she needed. It did that one bit of damage. She allowed her feelings to be hurt just that little bit. Because I'm a real jerk. With that. Tongart, you experienced this first. It is a pain unlike anything you've ever felt. Going through your entire body. There is a split second in which you feel like you're maybe blacking out. Shishu, this happens to you, then Elon, then XigXag, then Lord Buku as well. The pain is in every nerve ending, every muscle, every bone. It feels like it is being, just broken, shifted, strained. Tongart, you, however, the pain is over almost instantaneously. It happens and then it is suddenly, gone, and you feel okay. You find that you were lying in sand. You hear some kind of like shifts in the sand next to you as other bodies hit the sand. But something feels wrong. You don't feel right.
I'm gonna try to stand up and get my
As
bearings.
you begin to stand up, you actually stumble. Your forelimbs don't seem as strong as they should. Your rear limbs seem to almost be jutting out of you at the wrong angle. You look down at your scales. Your recognizable obsidian scales with the glow coming out from within of the lava always present in you. The lava seems significantly less hot. Almost more just an impression of what you once were. And your hand is shaped like the hand of a biped, not that of a dragon. Your face seems too close to your body. Shishu, you have a similar experience. You don't feel a tail, you don't feel wings. What you feel is the form of a dragonborn, which is what all of you are.
What? Do we see Emriel in here?
As you look around, oh, no, she went to a different domain. As you all begin sort of like moving up, you see no sense of her anywhere. You see in the distance a city made of gold, surrounded by massive pyramids of pure gold, treasure untold. Tongart, you were carrying like the demon armor, right?
Yeah.
That is still with you, but now it's like suddenly like much heavier and bulkier, you know, kind of all like, so you're almost like crushed under the weight of some of what you're carrying. The rest of you, as you realize that you are dragonborn, you have this moment of looking up and seeing. Of seeing this place ahead of you. Shishu, please roll a d8 for me.
Okay.
and you would like to roll high.
This is all technically my fault.
It's not technically your
7.
fault. It's my fault. You rolled very high, so the good news is perfect. I was laying it on. So I mean, there was you guys. The fact that you walked away is great. It's just that she's the worst and managed to be able to. She really wanted you slowing her, but you made an argument, and she was like maybe, and they were like no, it's feasible. All right. The good news is, you do not appear to be noticed. But as you stand here, there is a hot sun beating down on you mercilessly overhead. And as you look kind of off to your right, you see what looks like maybe 1,000 Dragonborn who are sort of tied together and are moving massive bricks. They seem to be some kind of slaves to a pharaoh here in this domain of dread. There are larger dragon-like forms, also humanoid but with large wings, who are like cracking whips and holding weapons and barking orders at them in draconic, telling them to go faster, that the pyramid must be completed soon. You see in the center of this city, there is a large statue made of pure gold that depicts a dragon wearing a nemesh with sort of like a long beard, small and thin, of blue and gold. This dragon is of a kind you've never seen before. Perhaps it's only a representation, but this dragon seems almost like a hybrid of dragon and beetle.
Oh, no.
Dragon and scarab.
Oh, dear.
The mists behind you are roiling and angry. We will continue for a bit, but obviously we're not going to go too long. Once we need, your mental stats are all the same for right now. Once we need other stats, we will maybe be ending, because I'll have to be providing you your Dragonborn forms. But this is what you all see.
Well, at least we are in a place of some form of civilization.
Is Lord Buku smaller than the rest of us Dragonborn?
No.
We're all the same size now?
I'm probably walking around normal.
He's honestly,
Yeah,
he's probably about
not
the
much
height he
change for
was.
him.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Shishu's like, Buku.
Yes. This is, you all seem to have come down to a more reasonable size. Congratulations.
Level,
Well, this is certainly not what I expected to happen.
This is so much worse than anything I could have imagined.
Yeah, next time when we agree to do something, let's stick to it.
Where do we see our prey, our target? XigXag, can you sniff them out?
Excellent. Yeah, XigXag.
Please.
You were within 10 feet, so go ahead. Make a perception roll. But I will tell you, you don't. Well, you do. You can't. You smell so many humanoids around you.
Didn't you say that she went into a different domain?
Yeah, but you don't know that yet. I shouldn't have said that. I was just being a dick to rub it in. I should be revealing it right now.
19.
You have advantage on this, right?
Oh, I do?
You do, because this is your a person you smell.
Oh, then it's a 31 with a net 20.
Then with a 31 and a nat 20, XigXag, you breathe deeply.
Nice.
And you are confident. That is, you felt yourself being pulled by those mists when you entered. You do not believe she is here. You don't necessarily know where she is, but you are confident that she is not. She certainly would be within 1,000 feet of you for how quickly you're smelling for her.
She's nowhere here. I don't think she's in this domain at all.
You do not believe, yes,
Domain.
to whatever degree you understand domains of dread, and honestly, like Chantarelle did explain it a fair bit. You believe she is either in a different one or she didn't get pulled in at all. Tongar, you did hear her say something when she went through.
She said, "I got one for you, handsome. 4 more on the way." Something like that.
What did she say?
I got one for you, handsome. 4 more on the way, something to that effect. Sorry, I'm just, she's not even here. I didn't really intend to come here. Really struggling to find any kind of silver lining right now.
I'm thinking if there are more than one domains of dread, we just have to find the next one until we find the one that she is in.
I would.
If I may, I think that we're all under a bit of shock right now, and we need to reevaluate where we're at. And I would say that while, of course, I, as much as the rest of you, wish revenge upon this foul demon of a creature, and of course, if our paths cross, we shall get it. But perhaps this is not the negative, situation we find ourselves in, but instead an excellent opportunity to reacquire additional streams of revenue. I believe Elan would be on board with me on this. That, perhaps we should not put all of our eggs in one basket, but diversify.
Here in this cloud, there is a lot of wealth, it does seem. Yeah, I mean.
I'm just saying, these people can build a temple here.
Over there, and we are dragonkin now. They are used as slaves. I believe we are the slave race over here. So your plan might be a little bit difficult.
Well, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but we have only recently arrived. We don't know. We don't know the hierarchies here.
We're trying to find a place to hide.
Bill Bluster is running out. That one armor. Yeah, it's just gonna.
XigXag. What benefits does us being negative and pointing out all the flaws and problems that we're in do for us? Nothing. However, if we look at the positives and the possibilities, we might come out of this better on the other side. Regardless, we have but one choice in front of us, and that is to survive and try to find a way to escape this plane and return to our own, to the Shadowfell, to some place that we can recognize, correct? So in the meantime, let us not dwell upon the things we cannot control, but instead focus on that which we can. Master Lasso, I'm sure you are in agreement with this. We must look on the bright side of things, yes?
I agree that we need to figure out something to do, and I think that she's right.
We should hide.
We should not be out in the open right now until we at least figure out where we are, what's going on, and what we have and don't have anymore. Because I think we've lost more than treasure this time around.
And
technically, you do have all your treasure. I want to be very clear.
Right. We lost the rings, though.
Yeah.
Well, if you're all Bill Bluster runs that, we are running.
And you are all wearing very simple, robe garb, kind of like just like white linen or kind of garb, simple belts, sandals.
Are we dressed like the other Dragonborn we can see?
You're dressed like the other Dragonborn you can see. You, however, Lord Buku, still have any of the clothes you were wearing. Those are kind of on top of that, but basically your naked dragon bodies were turned into Dragonborn forms wearing sort of simple,
I've got some sweet mithril sandals, brah. What's up?
You look really good. XigXag, I do want to point out you are wearing shoes. You are
the irony.
What kind of shoes?
They're sandals.
Sandals? I'm not. Do I have the extra shoes?
You have any shoes you have. Yes, you could put those on instead. Well, we will say that they're the right size. But you guys are saying that, however, Shishu is making a good point, and Shishu's saying we need to hide. I'm basically going to say that you saying that, and if you guys are taking that action, you are not spotted by a patrol yet. You have actually arrived, and you sort of slipped in, and sort of those in command. I mean, well, we'll get into what Dark Lords would and wouldn't know. You guys are fully aware of that at this point. But the others are. So basically, Shishu, you are looking for a place to hide. Am I correct in that?
Yes. And I'm also telling everybody about an ancient text I read that I used to when I collected these things. It said, "Don't engage in stinking thinking. We're gonna get through this, you guys."
Don't engage.
Just a very, very much a positive outlook that we're gonna have as we hide frantically.
Well, Buku, you think you can help carry some of this armor? It's a little more difficult here.
He side eyes Elan and is like, "Oh, you need my strength? Of course."
Well, we might
Honestly,
Lord
Buku,
very helpful. Very
your
welcome.
battle standard of Imperial Command is a lot heavier now. It's sort of a little bulkier.
Wait, isn't it about the same size to me as it was before, though?
Great point. Yes, rescinded. It's same exact size. You genuinely don't have that's like you have your arms kind of full. XigXag, sorry, what were you asking?
I can help Vanguard.
We might have to spread it out, yeah.
Yeah,
I also think it might be quieter that way.
Of course.
Franklin is just up there, just yelling. I guess at this point, Elan does actually have to the tiara would not be on his finger, but he'll have to put it on his head, and then he's still attuned to it, so he can be talking these languages.
Well, you have a robe now, Shishu.
Oh yeah, you can wear your robe if you want to.
I can wear my robe.
But because Shishu nothing's coming here, and Shishu's telling you guys to hide. What is your plan for finding a place to hide?
What is the terrain like?
It is desert dunes where you are. You kind of fell in. There is this city that is about maybe 2 miles away. There are numerous pyramids built around the city, but the desert does extend kind of off to your right. So who's taking the lead? What roles are being made? How do you guys want to go about this?
We'd at least go just hide behind some dunes.
Okay, so first thing's just literally hiding behind dunes perfectly. XigXag, make a survival check then. You guys do have a ranger dragon here, which will be helpful.
26.
Yeah. Okay. So, XigXag kind of notices kind of an area where the terrain is kind of sloping a bit, and you think you legitimately would have cover because you do see some flying forms patrolling above. So XigXag can pretty quickly and easily kind of tell you, just step in my footprints, etc., kind of a situation, and you guys do manage to get behind a dune. Do
I still have chameleon skins?
Yeah. Good question.
Not considered yet, because I am not a total dick. God, that's a really good question. You are no longer dragons is the problem.
Right.
Are we the same color as we used to be?
You're definitely the same color, and I'm saying you have all your skill proficiencies still. Basically the idea for this is, if this ever happened, I thought about doing it ahead of time, and then I was like, if I build them Dragonborn ahead of time, they'll never go there, I'll jinx it. So you are all now you're going to be classes of your normal type. XigXag, you're a ranger. Lord Buku, I'm actually not completely sure what you'll be. We'll talk about that. I might make you a professor. I actually might make you a professor for my stuff. Shishu, you're a barbarian, obviously. Tonkart, you're a cleric. Elan's probably a sorcerer. We'll get to all of that, but yeah, Bard could also work. But for now, I'm gonna have to get back to you on that, because maybe I'll find a way to appropriately scale those feats to.
If I'm able to chameleonize myself, I will. But
you are gold, so that's already helping a fair bit. But yes, in fact, the only one of you who really, really super sticks out from the sand is Tonkart. So as you guys kind of,
I keep Tonkart behind me then.
Perfect, kind of keeping him sort of keeping him there, and he has black scales, but the yellow orange fire within makes it not quite as rough. So you guys are all hidden sort of behind some dunes.
While we're hiding, I'd like to share what I've learned growing up in the lands of Bazankin, the very, very deserty type of landscape.
Absolutely, yes,
and impart upon that kind of knowledge now that I'm probably the biggest one here,
Yeah,
just wanted to share that with everyone.
It's just so delightful.
And Shishu's riveted. It's like she's just riveted.
And Lord Buku
You've
is
never seen
eating it
Buku
up.
like this before.
I know. It's like the kid who came back from summer and he's hot all of a sudden.
It's a situation of at his size, Buku's
Oh,
shape
like the
with his
kid,
neck
the
all
little
big,
bottom,
he just looks like weird and grown. If you shrink his neck down and kind of flatten his face a little bit and just have it be like, he looks great. If he's not a dragon walking around in person clothes.
He's just like, Buku, you are so proportionate. Proportional? I don't know. We were one of those.
Thank you, I suppose. I always felt like I was. Well, it's nice to be seen for the talents I normally have.
This seems a little weird. I miss Megan. Oh, I bet I could date Megan in this form. Whatever. In any case,
you totally can. You can do anything that you believe in.
I really feel like that's what I feel like that's what he was putting down in previous interactions with Megan. But for now, you have found you found a hiding place where you don't think any patrols will notice you at present. Sort of broader steps forward. I think, gosh, it is only 9, but we did start a little early. I think we're gonna call it here for the evening, unless anybody has any other things they'd like to say, do, plans they'd like to propose.
I just want to be really clear that when I was using my slowing breath, I was actually trying to slow her down because I wanted to find out where she was going.
Understood. That's why
I wasn't trying to hurt her.
That's why it didn't work.
We understand what happened. We all had the same impulses. We know that you are one to act on those impulses, and most times that is the best course of action. We trust your impulses.
She was a rogue.
I get the sense that that's where she's from.
I hate her so much.
Yes, she's the worst. They weren't wrong. She's the worst.
I'm pretty sure she was trying to lead us here.
She was.
As some sort of reward for something.
She knew we were going to follow her. I didn't want to come in here, but here we are. We're going to get out of here.
I mean, look, we shouldn't blame ourselves too extensively. I feel like if we hadn't followed her, she would have had her feelings hurt that we weren't even paying attention to her. So I feel like she would have made some excuse to make that happen.
Oh, man.
You know what?
Awesome.
They said no one gets out of the Dreadlands, but they've never said no dragon gets out of the Dreadlands.
Now that is the kind of attitude that will get us out of here. Exactly, Shishu.
We
just need to keep that positivity.
Again. Yes.
Master Lasso.
No stinking thinking.
When there's a moment, I just, Master Lasso, are you all right? You're usually the one leading this kind of charge of optimism.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to look for something good right now and not finding it. I appreciate your positivity, and I will try to follow you all this time. I appreciate that you are carrying that spirit forward. But I don't have any solutions. That's usually what I'm offering when I do that.
Master Lasso, forgive me for being the one to point this out, but I believe you misinterpret your purpose here. You've never been the one to offer solutions. You've been the one to inspire solutions to come from us. You have answers for sure, and you've definitely made your own, share of contributions to the group, but that is not your value with this group. You keep us on the right track. You keep us, you say you're looking for something good. I would say look inside. It's right there. Out of all of us, you're the only one that does not endeavor for personal gain alone. And while I must admit, it is quite a vexing habit that you have, and one that I would personally do away with if it was, one that I had, I think it suits you well.
Character right now.
I'm just saying, like, for me, it's problematic, but it is a benefit to our group, and I've been forced to acknowledge that.
And he just sort of looks up, and there's a little bit of a smile, and he says, "Thank you, Buku. You're right. The thing that I find most valuable in everything that we've had, everything that we share, is actually each other. So, yeah, I think we can probably figure this out. I just don't know where to begin right now.
Oh.
See, that's the sappy optimism that I've been missing. That kind of naivety is something that we need desperately right now. Welcome back, Master Lasso.
I hate to say, let's stop
even
talking
nice
about her.
with that a little
It
obnoxious.
does always feel like, well, it's progress. Even if it is back and forth, it's progress.
Indeed,
I hate to
indeed.
say let's stop talking about our feelings, but we're in the shit right now.
True.
Well, yeah, perhaps
And
we
I'm
should
sorry
find...
about that.
Well, it's... You all just followed me here, which I do actually, you know what? Thank you. I appreciate that because, you know, I could be here alone, and that would be far worse.
We could never leave a member of our group behind.
I mean, we could have gone. Somebody could have gone and warned.
Where's
Lagak.
Tonga?
I don't know.
Where's Lagak?
With that, I'm actually cutting away from you for the end of today's game. In the Shadow World, Lagak stands about like 100 feet from the edge of the Dreadlands. Like wild-eyed, like having like not panting because she's in amazing shape, but just like oh. Okay.
Mom's really mad.
Well, I pray that I've taught them enough. Fortunately, they are dragons. They have formations. They're powerful. There's nothing this place can hold for them that they cannot do. They will be fine, I'm sure. Still, the Gawk kind of considers her options. She sort of, Megan is like shouting to her, you know, like across the thing for a distance. She walks back a bit, confirms that the dragons disappeared in there. She then begins a very long, solitary walk back to the Umbral Court to possibly seek aid from the one they call Kenosabe, the Warden of the Mists.
Well, I'm glad
Never leave a member
you
behind.
did.
hoping that she's taught you well enough to survive in a place. Lagak is... Oh, I guess I'll roll on it. Where's her memory stony done for her? Ooh, I roll a natural 1. Lagak has studied many things. The Dreadlands are not one of them. She knows enough to know she should not go in after you. But it is now up to you, my friends. That is where we'll end tonight's session. I'm
my God.
basically the worst person ever. That being said, I will say I do think campaigns need a really good, like, bad guy. And you guys don't care for this one. So I feel like on some level we're doing great.
Just ballpark it for me, Philip. Mm-hmm. How many times are you going to take our characters away from us?
As many as it takes. Basically,
Plus
I'll
or
phrase
minus
it like
10.
this.
Just give me like...
I'll phrase it like this. If you build a 20th level character, I take it away. If you build a Tongart Lasso, in response to that, I'm gonna do one where he has a panic attack and yells at Nate. So, that's kind of the answer, as many as it takes.
Build some epic level characters, he says. Those are the enemies now. Build some epic dragons, he says. Not anymore, you're not.
You're just little dragonborns.
Not only that,
Get all this loot, he says. Taking it back.
For narrative purposes, maybe is it going to be really good for you guys to experience what it's like to be a biped under draconic rule? I don't know. But the point is... Yeah. The point is, that happened, and so many reasons it could have not happened. If you'd let her go, she would not have tried to taunt. Shishu followed her. If you guys simply attacked her out there, she doesn't have dimension. She has no means of, like, getting there quick. If you'd killed her there, she would have been able to try to take the thing back, but she would have been done. Oh, but no, she's just the worst. She got you to the edge. She got you to the edge, and she got you to just say enough mean stuff. She's a total monster. And...
You know what? It's my fault. I'm off my game. Buku 100%. He just was off his game. I think Tangard got into his head because typically he'd just be like, you know what? Let's kill her. Let's get all the loot. It's all about the loot, right? That's all it's about. I feel like that's my fault. I should have done it earlier.
She's just the worst. That's fine. But guys, thank you so much for watching. The best part of this is we'll see you all in 2 weeks to see how this goes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, 2 weeks because of the Super Bowl. So we'll have some time to put together
time to stay sick to our stomachs.
To just remain here in the Dreadlands. I have 2 games in the domain of Dread because I'm a very bad person. Yes, my life is an exercise in trying to drive people away from me. So thank you all so much for watching tonight. We have other fun games such as tomorrow, Temple Flight issue number 2, the return of Top Flight, but now in a darker world. On Tuesday, Long Lost Noir, Gray in the Dark, a continuation of our super fun noir game. We will see what happens after the mob hit on whoever the mob hit was after. Seemed mostly unsuccessful. Following that, on Fridays, we have Blood from a Stone. We are now in the noir-infused domain of Heistales. That game has been super fun. I really am excited to check it out. In Gray in the Dark, Vanda is playing a mannequin spirit medium that is actually, I can pump up a lot of the stuff, that is both a race and a class from Long Lost Noir, now available on Kickstarter, or available to back on Kickstarter. Please back it, tell your friends, etc., etc. Pierce is playing on the game on Fridays, Pierce is playing a gremlin professor, which is super fun as well. So yeah, check those out. Check out the Kickstarter. Please check out our Discord. Go to our About page if you want to find out about our fantastic players here. Also follow us on social media at Long Lost Lore on Twitter, at Long Lost Lore RPG on Instagram. And then, if any of our players would like to discuss anything they are up to or doing or live streaming, please do so now.
Thank you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're all still pretty shell shocked. Hang on, we gotta shake it off.
Yeah, I'm gonna be I stream every Tuesday and Thursday on Twitch under the pseudonym Deadwood Jedi. So you'll find me on twitch.tv/Deadwood Jedi. Check out my YouTube channel and watch my videos that are coming out. If you play Raid Shadow Legends, it'll make sense. If you don't, it won't. But you'll still see me, so that's great. On stream, I mostly just bullshit anyway, so it's a lot of fun. And then after you're done watching me, or maybe partway through, if you get a little hungry, a little antsy, you want a little something to munch on, you can go check out my friend Miss Shishu Butero, otherwise known as Anna Vocino. Did I say that right?
I said I was going to stream on Twitch last week, but I stuck with Instagram. I stream every Tuesday at 2:30 Pacific on Instagram. That's me. And hey, that meatloaf I was eating during our stream tonight is in that book that Jed is holding. And it was long before Meatloaf died that I wrote that meatloaf recipe, but you can use it as your own personal tribute to Meatloaf. Every Tuesday on Instagram at 2:30 Pacific, I make food, and then I'm figuring out when it's going to be Twitch. I'll talk about that next time.
Very good. Well, yes, and
I'm just going to Manzukis this from now on. The Guardians of the Galaxy game is great. If any of you like Guardians of the Galaxy, play the video game, because if you like the sense of humor, it's that, but they're telling a way better version of that story in that video game. It's fantastic.
I like that. That really is a Manzukis. I will just plug a thing.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, everybody, thank you so much for watching. I will apologize to my players both on and off stream for being a devious monster. I will say that when I landed on, I'll actually tell you guys just right now, when I was rolling up domains, I rolled creature type to be in charge of one, and I rolled a dragon, having already rolled that it was going to be like mummy, whatever. So I was like, okay, what will the thing? So the fact that it turns you into Dragonborn was just, the dice gave that to me, and I couldn't not have it there. Oh, this is going to be fun. Well, thank you all so much for watching. We are now going to kick you over on a raid to Total Party Kiss. So go over there, say hello to them in chat when we do so. But until next time, everyone. Oh, right. It takes 9 seconds. I always do this too. I always start too early. Until next time, everyone. roar long and prosper.
Can we still roar now that we are dragonborns?
That's a cross one. That's weird. I don't know.
It's weird.
You can still
A lot of. I just feel weird in general.
Guys, enjoy Total Party Kiss. We're going there. All right, so we are heading out. I think people still hear us talking for a moment, but soon they'll be over there.
We could have turned us into goblins at least.
We are now changed over. You're Dragonborn.
You
You're
might be
Dragonborn for a
goblins.
dark reason.
Andrew's gonna be so mad.
Yeah. I'm just sort of glad Andrew wasn't here tonight.
Nobody tell him until we get to the just don't tell him. I'm serious.
What if he
tell him.
reads the report?
I don't know. We already utilized his pain on stream, and I had to pull him back from that by pointing out how cool it was we get to be dragons. I don't have an upside to this.
Yeah.
I don't know that I want him to just sign on, be told what's going on, and exit the Zoom.
Understood. Guys, we're still live for the recording. I'm going to go ahead and kick us to the closing for that, but everybody watching the recording,
That's all right.
I won't
All of that
say,
can be for public.
Oh, of course. It's now I won't say roar long and prosper. I'll say live long and roar spur. Good night, everybody.